We have had some development since the last clip. There was a major storm here, and major storm, and like roads washed out and all that from in the town, and it had some impact on this excavation here. You can see this kind of these channels down here. So here's where we had a little bit of erosion, and then if I go to the other side, this one actually got hit the worst. There's some big channels there. So we lost a little bit of soil, which is a bummer. It all flooded into here, and so I scooped all that out. I scooped out basically anything that wasn't supposed to be there. But you can see, maybe you can see, there's still a bunch of water down there. So I'm trying to wait for that to dry before I continue my work down there. And I may or may not stick to that. We'll see. But I got this gravel basically kind of keeping things a little more stabilized in the event that we get more rain. I think it might have helped because that rain kind of kept going even after I dropped the gravel in, and things seemed to be stationary. But anyway, I got rebar. As you can see, I'm cutting up a bunch of pieces for the verticals that are here. I got to bend them all, and I did one kind of row of the horizontal stuff just to kind of get myself going here on this piece. I screwed in all these boards. They're now 3 foot apart based on the advice of somebody. And I'm using these little chair things. I don't know if I have these as often as they need to be. When the inspector comes along, he can let me know if he wants me to add more. It'll be 2 seconds to put those in. I'm gonna have to wire it all. And I gotta figure out, I'm sure there's a simple way to do it, but when I get these vertical bars, they gotta somehow, they'll bend around towards me underneath, and then they'll sit straight up. And I gotta figure out how to make them do that. I think people will sometimes like tie them to these bars to make them stand up, but I'm spacing these 3 feet apart, and these need to be, I think, 2 or 4 feet. So it's a multiple of 2. So now that I'm thinking about this, I might need to adjust these. We'll see. I'll try to look up some ideas. Okay, so here we got some interesting stuff going on. So this is a step footing here. I don't want to step in the thing because it's still wet, and I don't want to get it all messed up. But I basically have cut this board, which you can probably see better from this angle. It kind of molded it. I'm sculpting it to the side of the hill. And obviously it's not going to be perfect because it's a very jagged surface there. And I don't want to, I was suggested to dig in a trench here to kind of fit a board into, but there's rocks like this one that are kind of holding this whole thing together. And I don't want to mess with that. We might get another rainstorm, who knows, and I want to make sure that this wall stays as intact as possible. You can see like there's already, like that mud, that could go at any minute. I mean, I got that gravel there to hopefully stop it, but I don't know if that's going to be successful or not. So I want to be as little impacting to this dirt as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw this board into here, get it all attached. I'm going to reattach my blocks to, just add a little more reinforcement and whatnot. And then I'm going to take my scrap strips that I cut off and from this side attach them to this board. That way the force is happening in that direction, and I can try to plug the holes. I'm using a slump 4, which is apparently thick. I never seen it in real life, so I have no idea. But hopefully it won't go through the cracks that are left over. I don't think it will. I have pretty high confidence that cracks that size are not going to be an issue from just, I guess, polling of people who actually know these things. The general, I find you ask people a question about anything in this, and you get a different answer from every single person you ask. But it does seem that the overwhelming majority of people have this concept that concrete's not going to easily flow through an inch or two. And I'm pretty sure that varies based on your slump. But I think it's slump 4, which is a thicker slump. I should be okay on that. And yeah, I'll just have a bit of a weird checkered pattern type thing on the side of my footing, which I will never see. I'm sure this isn't showing up on camera quite like it is in real life, but those clouds are very dark and very icky looking. Now, let me show you where we are. This was supposed to be inspected today, and you can see it's pretty darn close. We got the verticals in, we got the rebar in, things are tied. But when you get down to the bottom level, we don't have the verticals in, that piece isn't cut. There's actually a piece over on this side of the retaining wall that isn't fully in yet. And the reason for that is we just had what I think was like 1,000-year, well, Vermont had a 1,000-year flood. I don't know what it was in New Hampshire, but this whole area was flooded pretty bad. And I don't know if you can see, but down there it's still moist. There's definitely areas where, you know, the water has dropped below the dirt, but it's very, if I step on it, it'll make a footprint big time. And it's been days, like it's been 5 days, maybe a little bit less, but it's been a long time. So draining this has been a challenge. I made channels that kind of get it over into this little puddle over here, and I've been just kind of working at getting it dry, but I don't know if this is going to help me. Forecast for the next several days is just yicky, and the inspection got pushed back. Today's Thursday, it got pushed back to Monday, but I don't know if a wet surface for putting the footing on is going to fail me inspection or what is going to happen. But I just hope at the very least that it doesn't flood like it did during that big storm, so that I can still work in there. And then hopefully we can just get the water out. I have a little bilge pump I've been working with, and yeah, but it's not good. So that's the battle right now. Hopefully it won't be an issue. Pours on Wednesday, inspection on Monday. Cross your fingers. What you see here are footing forms that passed inspection. Thank goodness. There was just one little thing that you know, he said was like, yeah, a little bit borderline. I don't even want to say what it is on video, because technically probably not, I don't think it's code, but because I have so much extra rebar and whatnot, basically, you know, I didn't skimp. He passed it, so we are good to go. Good for our concrete pour, which is 2 days from now. And as long as, you know, the weather holds out and this driveway-ish thing stays capable of supporting a cement truck, which is a heavy machine, then I'm gonna have footers poured in 2 days. So that's it for this video, and I'll probably take a quick snap of after the footers are poured and whatnot, but there's no way I'm filming during that, because that's gonna be chaos. So see you later.